Here's the question. Do you think the broadcasting team is better without Dale Jr.? And tell me why you think that.
So, in ways, yes. I believe so because I think with Junior out, Junior's not doing what the typical TV broadcasters do in terms of covering motorsports. What I mean by that is if we go back to the news that Junior broke out of him leaving NBC and joining Amazon and whatnot, if you go back to that, and when Junior said this on his podcast of Dale Jr. Download, Dale Jr. is not a 100% made for broadcasting. And I'm not saying he's a bad broadcaster by any stretch of the means necessary. The kind of broadcaster that Junior is that he's like a track announcer. For example, when you go to your local racetrack that also broadcasts races on a weekly basis, like say for my home track, Fonda Speedway, you have your track announcer, but your track is also broadcasted on a streaming service on a weekly basis. So when the track the track announcer, essentially Dale Jr. is like the track announcer. He's watching the race from outside his viewing point. He's not watching some TV screen and calling the race from there. He's watching what's happening live in front of him. And occasionally, yes, at times, he does watch the TV screens. Like, obviously, on road courses, you're not seeing the whole track. So he's going to have to see what's going on the TV screens. Or a track such as, like, and Chris, I'm sure you can back me up, Talladega and Daytona. You're not going to see the whole track from where you're sitting. He's going to have to pay attention to a screen in front of him to kind of help him out cover the race that he's covering. But, again, back to what he basically is. He's basically a track announcer. Now, if there is like a caution or accident or something happening on the track that forces a replay, Dale Jr. is going to look at that TV screen and explain the replay of what's going on. If you look at the typical race TV coverage, like Fox with NASCAR or NBC with IndyCar, and now they'll be jumping over to Fox starting next year, and NBC, obviously with NASCAR, a lot of it is more you're paying attention to the screens in front of you. You're not watching so much of what's happening on track. So I think with Junior getting out of NBC, it kind of it takes the disruptor out of what you are supposed to be doing.
Thank you. That exactly. Chaz Taylor, you basically you run 5 wide receivers. You got 1 quarterback, right? So there's not much controversy at quarterback unless there's a better quarterback that's sitting behind the top quarterback. But with receivers, you have to throw the ball out there every now and then. And when you got a disgruntled receiver like a Dez Bryant or Antonio Brown or maybe a Ocho Cinco, those guys are going to be pretty loud at you. They're going to be like, "Hey, I want the ball!" Like, I want the ball. And so, and you as a fan, you're like, hey, get that guy the ball, right? Well, that seems to be how kind of the broadcast booth was with Dale Jr. in it. Let's give Dale Jr. the ball. And he's not the quarterback. The quarterback is, basically, I don't know who the quarterback is for the. I would say Mike Joy would be the quarterback of the broadcasting booth with Fox. But maybe, maybe Rick Allen. Who's the guy that leads the broadcast with NBC? Alan Bestwick, I think, would be the quarterback of the room.
Is it Rick Allen the main guy?
Yeah, it may be, but I get them so confused on the NBC side. Of course, it's just been a couple of broadcasting. And as I said, they're really good about dispersing the ball as we continue our NFL football.
Yes, it's Rick Allen.
Comparisons here. It is Rick Allen. Okay.
Rick Allen's the quarterback there.